So this video is going to review the exit ticket that you guys had on Monday or Tuesday, and it should help you answer the exit ticket retake that you're going to take after this video. So it says a professional cyclist, which is a bike rider, travels 50 meters in 2 seconds. Complete the table. We know that we've got a ratio of 50 to 2, and that means that we need to find an equivalent ratio of something to 1. So remember, whatever we do on one side of our equivalent ratio, which we could write separately, 50 to 20 is something to 1, or we could just work in the table directly, whatever we do to one side is what we need to do to the other. And this is a proportional relationship, so we know we'll be using multiplication or division because we're scaling up or down the same way each time. So I know that 2 divided by 2 is 1. And my hint that I would be using division is that I'm moving from a larger number to a smaller number. I'm scaling down my original ratio. So since I divided the right side by 2, I would also go ahead and divide the left side by 2, and that would give me a distance of 25 meters. Now let's just say that in your table, instead of having a smaller number like 1, you were given a larger number, like let's say the number was 10. You would follow a similar process, and you could use either the 1 or the 2 now that we have 2 equivalent ratios. But instead of using division, this time we would be using multiplication. So I know that 2 times 5 is 10, and I know that 50 times 5 is 250 meters, and that means that I have an equivalent ratio. Now, when you think about what this means, it makes a whole lot of sense, because if you were looking at a double number line, you would know that after 2 seconds, the cyclist has traveled 50 meters. I'm going to add in my seconds and my distance in meters, time in seconds. Always good to be as clear as possible. So after 2 seconds, traveled 50 meters. So if we kept counting up our double number line, 2 more seconds, 50 more meters, 2 more seconds and 50 more meters, 2 more seconds and 50 more meters, and finally we end up at 10 seconds and 250 meters. But instead of drawing the whole double number line in the ratio table, we can just say, okay, we're scaling up, meaning increasing proportionally, 2 5 times to get to 10. 2 times 5 is 10. And we're doing the same thing to 50. 50 times 5 is 250. And that's how we end up at 10 and 50. And again, when we found 25 and 1, we did the same exact thing. We took 2 seconds and we split it in half. That would be 1. 1 is halfway between 2 and 0. And 50 and 0, halfway between 50 and 0 is 25. So what we're doing in the table is the same thing that we were doing in a double number line. The only difference is we're simply using multiplication and division instead of skip counting all the way up to these really high numbers.